Great. So I'm Vitaly. I run product marketing at Vimeo. Super excited to be here and having great conversations with all of you. I'm going to talk today about video marketing, which is kind of pretty predictable for a person who works at a video company. It's this CTA, the greatest CTA of all time, that video play button over there. That's what we're going to be talking about today. How many people here actually use Vimeo? Oh, wow. That's awesome. Quite a few. So just as a disclaimer, I never created a video professionally. I never ran a production of a video. But through my experience at Vimeo and other companies, there's a few lessons and kind of best practices that I'm hoping to kind of pass to you today. And I'm sure that a lot of you were involved in video creation in the past. Actually, who was involved in video creation in the past, in the process? So hopefully there's some insights here that you can take away from this. Also, I run the New York Video Meetup. So if you are in New York City and interested in video, check it out at meetup.com. We're having meetups every 2 months or so. It's really cool bringing in video startups, video creative folks who present their work. So I encourage you to check it out. So a little bit about Vimeo. I came to Vimeo 3 years ago. To me, Vimeo, kind of the video that you see here is called The Story of Vimeo. It kind of describes how Vimeo is this community of explosive creativity of filmmakers. And when I saw this video about 3 years ago, that was kind of my why moment for Vimeo. And the reason for that is because Vimeo, unlike any other company that I worked on at least, it's not just a technology company, it's where technology meets creativity and art and community, the best community of filmmakers around the world. And that was my why moment. So since then, I've been at Vimeo working in product marketing, building the product marketing team. So I hope this is not a motivational speech, but I hope that each one of you has the why for yourself. And shameless plug, if your why is kind of similar to what I just described, we're hiring and expanding the team, so reach out to me. I'm not going to have too many shameless plugs in the presentation, but there are a couple. That's the first one. But Vimeo is not, let me see if I can go to the next slide. So Vimeo is not just a place where you go to see this really creative, awesome, adorably weird films. It's also a place where people actually use the tools to either drive their production or drive their marketing. And we launched recently, maybe some of you have seen that recent campaign across the country, the Vimeo Can Help * with your video campaign. And the point there was to point out that Vimeo is not just a video destination for awesome videos, but we also have actual tools that help you do your work. So this is kind of the top message, Vimeo Can Help, but that kind of is being followed up with middle of the funnel messages around specific tools and features we have. And I'll mention some of them throughout the presentation. So with that, let me spend 2 minutes before I talk about video marketing and talking about what product marketing is at Vimeo. I found it very useful, and other folks yesterday presented kind of their take on product marketing, because it's a little different in every company. So for us, we spoke yesterday about inbound product marketing, outbound product marketing. So for us, it's very similar. We worked on inbound product marketing with the product team, basically looking at the market, assessing the needs, and understanding the user, and then with the marketing team and actually creating the go-to-market strategy, the different campaigns that go into that. So I define it for our team as the team that drives demand, usage, and business impact of new and existing products. And that goes hand in hand with collaboration with the product team, the marketing team, sales team, and really what's unique to product marketing is that we bring kind of probably, we're the most knowledgeable in the company on everything that comes to the user, the competition, the product, as it pertains to the user and competition. So there's some conversation around how product marketing and product teams kind of overlap or don't overlap in some areas. There's always kind of a tricky area because you have to be a little bit sensitive around how other teams are perceiving. So we define very clear areas where there's by design an overlap between the teams and different areas that are uniquely owned by product marketing or a product team. So the overlap areas are market validation, user research, looking at what markets are we going into and assessing them. The strategic and business case that we're presenting to leadership when we're approaching new markets or expanding existing ones. And then the whole idea of growth, whether it's user onboarding or driving adoption in various ways, although we do have a separate growth team that's responsible for more kind of the growth around across the entire website or the entire offering. The growth that product marketing and product teams are responsible for is specific to products. So things like onboarding and driving adoption for features. And then pretty standard in terms of the things that product marketing actually owns uniquely. That's the messaging and positioning, the pricing and tiering, and then the whole go-to-market launch situation and competitive analysis. So that's product marketing and Vimeo. So I'm sure you've seen enough quotes to understand and to know that video is integral to what we do as marketers, product marketers. So I'm only going to have 3 quotes over here. The most interesting one I thought is from Ryan Halligan, the HubSpot CEO. He's basically saying that you need to be looking more into hiring video people than copywriters or blog writers because video just has better ROI than text. Now, I don't fully agree with that because the two have to kind of live together. Video makes your blogs and other content more effective. But the point is that video is the most engaging medium today. So companies, if you're not investing in it yet, video has to become sort of a priority for you. So who does video well? Plenty of companies, like the brands that you see over here, they all use Vimeo, and many of you folks here in the room, seems like you use Vimeo as well. But a lot of these companies have great budgets. They've been through trial and error of creating videos. They got the lessons. They got big teams, both internally and external agencies. But what about kind of the long tail, the small businesses or marketers at companies that are working on specific things that maybe are not too well connected with the production team or different startups? How do those people approach video, specifically video marketing? And for me, working for a video company in a marketing role, I feel like I have this unique vantage point of seeing how the art of storytelling is colliding in a sense with the science of marketing. And that's essentially what video marketing is to me. So as you're thinking through your video marketing strategy, I bucket those, the things you have to think about into those main areas. So one is aligning your video strategy with your general marketing goals. You don't want to be that person who's at a meeting and say, ooh, let's make a video. That's not a strategy. The strategy is how to use that video and more holistically with the other marketing activities that you do to drive specific goals. Second thing is the almost impossible balance between budget, speed, and quality when it comes to creating video. It's almost impossible to reach that sweet spot. You're always going to sacrifice either speed or the quality or the budget when it comes to that. So we're going to talk more about it. And then there's specific storytelling best practices that everyone who's been creating video for the past few decades already kind of know about. So it's important to keep those in mind as you deciding what videos to create, to what purpose, and what kind of storytelling to use in those videos. Next is the marketing within video marketing is how do you use that video holistically? Where is that video going to live? How is it going to drive action? And how is it going to drive results for you? And speaking of results, getting actionable insight in terms of how you're going to measure the impact of the video you created, and what can you learn next. So I'm going to dive into each of those areas real quick. So the first one is aligning your video creation with your marketing objectives. I'm sure you all seen plenty of marketing funnels, so sorry if you have to see another one. But video in that sense is not very different than other content you're creating, especially in B2B, which I think most of you are. And that's because when you're creating a video, it has to live in a specific part of a funnel for a specific goal. If you're creating, if your goal is to drive awareness and position your brand, then the type of videos you're going to be creating are social, snackable, entertaining content, educational content, things that you can teach something your target audience about an area that's important to them. Not selling your product yet, of course, that's the top of the funnel. And then, of course, ads that could be more focused on brand or specific product areas. Most of you as product marketers are probably not working on videos in the top of the funnels. That's usually the content team or the brand team. Although from conversation with some of you, it sounds like you do work on some of those videos in the sense that when those brand campaigns or content are including things like product features and product capabilities, and you're the person who's telling the agency or the content or the creative team how to position those features in that brand campaign. Middle of the funnel is where product marketers start to be a lot more active. That's where you create product videos, explainer videos about your offering, case studies, webinars, which could be gated or not gated. And again, here, as with most consideration decision funnel phases, the goal is to kind of deepen the trust with your users, to educate them about your offering, and generate demand and leads. And at the bottom of the funnel is after someone becomes a customer already or a user, how do you use video, what type of videos you need to create to make them use the product more, to retain them, and to grow share of wallet. So the videos you create there are how-tos, onboarding videos, different kind of best practices. So one thing to keep in mind, video is not just a produced video, it's also live, right? So Facebook, YouTube, and now LinkedIn, actually, Carrie's here from LinkedIn, are looking into launching live soon. So this has become a true medium of communicating your marketing message, whether it's through webinars or best practices. And the reason to use live streaming is to build up anticipation for a specific event, and also to have a lot more of an engaging conversation with your audience in real time. Okay, so let's talk about the balancing, almost impossible balancing between budget, speed, and quality. So like I said, you can only probably get 2 out of the 3. You can get, budget and speed, but maybe not quality. You can get quality, but not speed. So something has to give. So depending on your goals and the type of videos you're creating, you have to decide what are you actually sacrificing. So then a bunch of questions come to mind when you're thinking about balancing and creating your videos. So the questions that usually come up is, should I produce the video in-house, or should I, if you have a production team, or should I export it to, outsource it to an agency? Are there any shortcuts, any new technologies that help me create videos or help me scale my video production much faster? How much should I spend on the video? It's always very important. How long my video should be, depending on the type of video you're creating. That actually drives, as you see in the next slide, that drives a lot of the decision making around where this video lives and how much you spend on it. And then finally, if you're creating a video, how do you make it not a one-off project, but actually an evergreen, ongoing initiative? So let me start with the shortcuts. 3 examples for shortcuts to lower the barrier of production. So one is if you are doing a live event, so there's another shameless plug. There's a live streaming camera by Vimeo. It's called Mevo. It's a full-on production packed in a palm-size device. That's a camera that's operated with your mobile device, and that allows you to have maybe not full-scale professional-grade live events, but definitely quality live streaming with all the effects that you would expect from a live production, including zooming in, lower thirds, and things like that. So if you're looking into producing live events and you're looking to start small, this is kind of a great shortcut for you, which you will not need a full kind of live production team for that. Second thing I want to talk about is stock footage. So anyone here has used stock footage or knows what it is? Okay, so a few of you. Stock footage is essentially, it's a shortcut when you're working on a specific project and you don't have that specific shot of a blue-eyed Labrador walking down the street in Chicago. You would go to a stock offering and you'll be able, hopefully, to find something similar to that. And what that allows you to do is really scale production and cut down on the time that it takes you to create a video, because you don't need to produce all the content anymore. You actually have it ready. So Vimeo Stock is an offering that you can use for that. And the third one is what I call do-it-yourself social video creation apps, which is becoming pretty popular. And what that allows you to do is, as a marketer or someone who doesn't have background in production, those are tools that allow you to very easily create a video that you could potentially use in your social media. So companies that do that are Animoto, Magisto, Videolicious. Adobe has a product for that. Actually, just to emphasize to you what that looks like, I invested 5 minutes and created a video for this conference. So I want to hear your thoughts on that, if Nathan can use it maybe next year. Wait. That's stock footage. That's an actual shot I took yesterday. That's amazing. That's stock footage. That's stock footage. And that's me. That's networking. And that's you guys. I kid you not, 5 minutes. Now, is it great? Maybe not. But if I invested a little bit more time and had a little bit more quality content in there, and the copy was less cheesy, I think Nathan could probably use it. It's up to you guys. But it's a shortcut, right? So those tools allow you to actually not having to go to a production team every single time you want to create quick, snackable content. Let me see. Where is it? Usually when I double click it, it's okay. All right. Cool. So these are your shortcuts. Now, when you don't do shortcuts, this is what the consideration could potentially look like. Now, it's not exact science, but what I've found is, and this is also some of this information from Forrester, that the type of video you create is closely tied to the stage of the funnel the video is in, whether it's pre-sales or post-sale, and that's tied to whether you should be looking at an agency or in-house production. So for example, in the pre-sale stage, most people will be looking at agency, some in-house production. In the post-sale stage, you'll probably either use a simple do-it-yourself tool like I just showed you, or use an in-house production. So as you go kind of up the funnel, also the length of the video increases. So the ads are very short, the snackable content is very short. And as you go more towards thought leadership and webinars, more down the funnel, that's where content becomes a lot longer. So this is pretty straightforward in terms of comparing production agency versus in-house versus do-it-yourself tool. Production, when you outsource it to an agency, it's going to take longer. The budget is going to be much bigger, but the quality is going to be something you wouldn't be able to produce in-house because agencies do have skill sets and best practices they can use towards the video. For an in-house team, depending on specific skill sets that you have and the size of your production team, it's going to take a shorter period of time because there's less back and forth. It's not going to cost as much. It's your own internal team, but you still need some budget for them to create those videos. And the quality is going to be good, not amazing as potentially as outsourcing. And then the do-it-yourself video tool, I mean, you've seen before. And then as you're thinking about general costs, so an average video, depending on the constraints and the quality, will cost you anywhere between $3,000 for the lower end and $15,000 for something a little bit more sophisticated. And when it gets to creating polished ads, that's $60,000 and up, and it could rack up pretty fast. So you need to compare that as you're thinking about your video strategy. Do you want to continue to outsource videos versus have an internal production team? Compare that against a typical salary of a production team. If you're the person who's kind of responsible in making those decisions, just something to keep in mind. Time check. Ooh. Is someone going to kick me out if I continue?
Maybe.
Okay. How much time do I have?
Let's give it 5 more minutes.
7.
Deal.
All right. All right. So as you're thinking about the video creation, what's very important is, and I'm sure as some of you have done this process before, is to think through who's responsible for what through the entire stage. So initially, when you're creating the concept or the script, and usually the script as a product marketer, if it's a product video, for example, it's a very simple 2-column narration and then visual aspect of it. It's as simple as that. But product marketing, for the most part, is going to be responsible for that script if it's a product video, for example. As you get to the pre-production, production, post-production stage, there's not much you need to do as a marketer or product marketer, but you do need to be in the loop to make sure that it's kind of your vision is in that video, because it's very easy for the creative director to kind of go rogue and be like, oh, I added this awesome flashy thing over here, and it's completely off in terms of what you had in mind. So that's where review and approval really comes very handy. You need to set milestones where you will be approving and reviewing things and providing feedback to the creative team. And then finally, when it comes to distribution and tracking of success of the video, you need to be working with the performance marketing team to make sure that the product is distributed correctly in the channels that you want for the type of users that you want to see that video, and that everything is set up correctly to track success for that video. And to the point of providing feedback, this is a tool, it's another shameless plug, this is a tool that Vimeo has to easily provide feedback directly in the video to kind of make sure you don't have to do the whole long email thread saying, here in 5 minutes, 37 seconds, you need to fix this in the top left corner. So instead of that, it just does this. Point, write a comment, and the editor will then see it over here. As you go along, the editor will start resolving things and resolving your comments, and then hopefully by the end, all your comments are resolved. And that, for me at least, that saves hours at a time. All right, so storytelling best practices. There's hundreds. I just compiled a few over here. So don't sell the products, sell your why, unless you're really trying just to sell the product in the middle of the funnel. So this is just a quick example of what that looks like. This is Skillshare. I know I have 5 minutes probably, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this is a video that they created.
Curiosity. From the moment we open our eyes, it fuels our existence. It's the delight in discovery, the wonder of, well, wondering. Someone great once said, to learn is to live. Look up who, it'll do you good.
So
You
very
see,
inspirational,
it all
not selling the
starts with a
product,
question.
selling an idea of curiosity,
It doesn't matter,
not talking at all about what the product is.
just that the future
Back.
belongs to the curious.
Tagline, and a very subtle CTA. So this is selling the why. Humanizing your brand with employee faces and customer stories. A quick example of a coffee shop in Brooklyn. They actually created a series where they talk to people who come to their coffee shops, and they're really talking about, you know, their stories of what are they doing with their lives, and it's been driving a lot of engagement for this coffee shop, and it's very authentic, very cinematic, and it's been really working great for them. All right, I don't have much time, so.
Jeremy and I we really want to make a point of sitting down and spending time with.
Teach what you know. So again, establishing yourself as an expert in the space is something that you would do. You would use video for. So, for example, if Vimeo is a video platform, we have something that's called Vimeo Video School, where we teach about anything from how to pick your camera equipment to how to distribute your content. Now, Vimeo is not a camera company, but we know that it's important to the type of user, so we create videos on that. Authenticity often goes much longer way than having a super polished video. And then visual consistency with your brand. So the video needs to be, wherever the video lives, it needs to look like everything around it, part of the campaign. If it's part of the landing page, or if it's in an email or in social, it's very important to have this visual consistency for the video. And the last one is using emotion to kind of humanize and drive action. I think something got cut off over here. But essentially, you know, happiness, sadness, all these emotions, they drive specific call to actions. And it's amazing when you can kind of really cater to it. Just a quick example of using humor, for example. This is sort of like a horror movie. You see that kind of horrible situation. But, oh, I really using a very unexpected humor. All right, so you created the videos. What do you do with them? How do you actually drive action? So it comes down to videofying your entire funnel, or all of your channels. From having videos on your social, depending on what type of video you're creating and what type of goal, to having video, to driving people from social to your website with specific call to actions, and then converting them on your websites to lead opportunities, nurturing those users with video, and then finally delighting them as users. So keep in mind what are those call to actions you have in each stage, and what type of videos you use in each area. Speaking of social videos, so Vimeo has a tool that we call Publish to Social. Essentially, it allows you to easily distribute videos with a single click to multiple social destinations: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and others, and Twitter. And what it does, it's basically simplifying your workflow a little bit, but the fact that you can also track all the analytics from the social networks in a single place, that simplifies your life as a marketer. And then finally, all of it is not worth it if you can't get actionable insights. So essentially, you can't only track views, and most of you know that you have to track what's the actual impact. So things like engagements, things like how long people are watching the video. So this is what we call a drop-off graph. So I can see that there's a big drop-off here in 30 seconds. So I'll know next time I'm creating a video, or maybe even modifying this specific videos or creating a cut for it, how can I fix that to make the video much more effective? So tracking everything that's not just views, but beyond of engagement, how do you convert, how does this video help you to convert viewers into customers? That's critical. So sum it all up, got it. Make great content often and strategically, get people to see it, and actually care to take action, and the action is really important here. What's your call to action in the video? Where does the video live? And then you know the video works, but how do you prove that it works? So use analytics, very important. Finally, check out Vimeo Business, shameless plug. I'm hiring, and come to the next video meetup. That's me.
Any questions for Vitaly?
Your very last bullet point on the slide, which was make sure it works and measure success beyond views and plays.
Yep.
Could you just speak to that really quickly? What are the things, how do you measure success beyond views and plays? That's something we've struggled with. If there's not really a clear call to action within the video itself is the thing to do, is to watch it. So how do you make sure it's driving conversion? How do you measure that?
Yeah, so one way, depends what you want to measure. So one way to measure is kind of what I described, kind of where in the video you're starting to lose people, so that helps you to improve the video and video strategy later on. Besides that, you have things like, so for example, Vimeo has an integration with Google Analytics, so you're able to track how video performs within kind of the overall Google Analytics campaign. So you can connect. So for example, if you have a video on a landing page, you connect the traffic that comes to the landing page is the fact that you have video there and you have clicks and people are watching the video for a certain amount of time. How does it help in converting that traffic? You normally would want to do some kind of A/B testing to have a couple of versions of video or perhaps have one landing page with video or without video. I know it's harder to do with or without video because you want the landing page to work, but this is the kind of techniques we use.
I was curious about in your map of the production process, you had product marketing stepping out during pre-production, and
Yep.
I guess having done some video work myself, I would find that a little bit dangerous to let go. And maybe I'm just a control freak, but I would worry that things would spiral and
Totally.
go away from brand, go away from core messaging in that process. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
That's what I find. A film producer will set something up and then they're like, yeah, it doesn't do that.
Yeah, totally. And I've been kind of a victim of that we stepped out a little bit too much, and the video at the end turned out to be not great. And that was $100,000 investment that didn't pan out the way we wanted. So it is dangerous. You do need to be involved through post-production for sure with the review. Pre-production, it's to the degree that you're providing input on the concept and on the script. The pre-production here is more, what I meant is more kind of the technical aspect of, getting ready for the shoot, getting the cameras, the insurance, things like that. Those are not product marketing responsibilities, but the script, the concept, making sure it all fits with the general message you want to communicate in the brand, that's totally product marketing.
Just 2 more questions with 1 minute.
For customer testimonial videos, how prescriptive do you recommend being with the script, and how long, ideally, should they be?
Yeah, so according to this, unfortunately, the answer that it depends. It's how are you going to be using those customer testimonials and what kind of testimonial they provide. Do you want them to provide testimonial about specific features in the product because you will be using it in the middle of the funnel? Then the video is going to be longer, and you'll probably have, while they're talking, you'll probably have some footage from within the product. So those videos can be between 60 to 90 seconds. For testimonials that are not super product oriented, but more kind of, this is the value we drove and things like that, those can be shorter and more aspirational in nature. So I would say, depends if it's just a single customer or maybe a soundbite of numerous customers that are talking about the same topic, but those can be between 30 and 60 seconds. And then on the webinar side of things, we've done quite a few webinars where we bring a customer to talk about how they use video and the specific product. Those are 15 to 30 minutes webinars. So it really depends what kind of customer testimonial it is.
So coming from B2B tech space, we have it. Our challenge is deciding from the awareness stage what type of videos we actually utilize, whether it's product-focused videos or humanized videos. What type of videos do you find that are a little bit more engaging when it comes to those 2 top of the funnel stages?
So again, it kind of really depends on the goal that you're trying to achieve. When the person, and again, depends on, you have to look at the lead, where did they come from, what did they see before that, right? Kind of automate that process. For the most part, product videos is what people are looking at the stage where they're like, okay, I'm aware of the product, I'm aware of the problem that it solves. How do you guys solve it, and how are you better than competitors in that space? So this is kind of how we try to focus on our, when we create kind of product videos in the middle of the funnel. But general awareness and customer testimonials are also like very helpful there. So you got to use kind of a